Jethro Tull are celebrating the 40th anniversary of the release of StormWatch, which came out in 1979. We talk about reissues, the good and the bad on revisiting your songs from Ian Anderson. I'm John Beaudin from Rocky Street Music. A lot of fans seem to have this crazy fervor for just wanting reissues and remixes, and in this case, it's Steven Wilson with the 40th anniversary of Jethro Tull's StormWatch. Ian Anderson explains the good and the bad of going back. Do you think your high points on StormWatch, for instance, do you think your 3 favorite songs on StormWatch would still be the same ones, or does that just change with age?
Well, it depends on the songs, really. There are some that I would say were high points today, because I know that I couldn't really conceive of them in that way any longer. Some things are perhaps songs that I probably could come up with today for the first time and think, oh, that's a interesting new song. But some of them are definitely a product of the times. Some of them in musical terms are a little bit more absolute in as much as they work today. I mean, I play a couple of pieces from the StormWatch album at the moment on stage every night, and it's they are very fitting in terms of their position in the show. So, but there are other things that I feel if I were to perform those on stage, they might be a little alien in terms of musical concept.
But in the old days, studios weren't that interested in keeping and releasing, you had said, the older stuff, which the fans seem to have this fervor. They want more and more of outtakes and...
Well, I think there is the assumption that they do, but I would tend to think that it's more that some of them do. I don't think we can assume that all the fans who buy the box sets and compilations are necessarily so concerned with the minutiae of detail of outtakes and little nuances from demos or earlier versions. But we assume that some people are interested, and I think it's a reasonable assumption, even if that is only 50% or 20%, but it gives some people a lot of pleasure. And certainly for me, I find it interesting going back over the flaws and the failures and the things that just weren't quite right or didn't quite fit that album that got left off at the time. And these are old friends that you renew a brief acquaintanceship with when you hear them again 40, 50 years later. And it isn't always necessarily a great renewal of friendship, but you try and take from the positive things. I had an old friend who just dropped in for lunch today. Now, I haven't seen him for quite a long time, and for half an hour or so it was great to see him again. But I think we both knew it's time to get up and have a quick hug and say goodbye, because you do start to recall little elements of those relationships that weren't actually that great, just as you do when you listen to a piece of music that you rejected 40 years ago. You will find some little flaws in it and think, maybe that wasn't too good. It was the right thing to leave it off the record. But, for a little while, it's good to hear these things again.
We'll have more of our conversation with the great Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull coming up next week. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rocky Street Music.